Hey y'all, Ramdano here, coming at you from, well, just wait a second before I tell you where I'm coming at you from. Look in the background, you'll see I made some drastic changes to where I was going on the AT this week. So to find out what happened, stick around. Well, last night I got online, got on the White Blaze forum and the Facebook page for Appalachian Trail section hikers, and got to looking at the weather and figured out that it was not going to be a good week to hike up in Northern Virginia through Harper's Ferry, Maryland, and on into Pennsylvania. They've got severe flooding and it's supposed to rain starting Monday and rain all week. So that was not going to be a good trip to drive 8 hours and not get on the trail. So I decided that I could get on the trail quicker if I just went a little closer to home. So that's right, I'm coming to you from Mountains Crossing, Georgia. So we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off on my section hike from Springer Mountain to Neel's Gap, and we're going to hit Neel's Gap and go all the way to Dix Creek. That's Dix Creek Gap. But anyway, come along with me and enjoy the ride. I'm going to go ahead and suit up and we'll walk through the only building you walk through on the Appalachian Trail. So let's go. All right, and we're off. All right, the trail heads up to Level Land Mountain, about 1.7 miles, and we're going to gain about 800 feet in altitude. So here we go. Gorgeous day. Couldn't ask for a better day for hiking. Not really hot. Feels like it's maybe in the 70s, but feels great. A little overcast, but hopefully we'll have a lot of that over the next 3 to 4 days. We're heading on up and entering the Ravens Cliff Wilderness area. Okay, as is normal, I'm checking in within the first 15 minutes after I get on the trail. I'm a little out of breath because I just started from Mountains Crossing, which is at a gap. We all know what happens there. When you start at a trailhead, they're mostly at a gap, which means you got to climb out of the gap. Right now, it's pretty level. I can see up ahead, it's getting ready to change. So I thought I would chat with you just a second. If you'll notice, see any blazes in front of you, because there aren't any. It's not very well blazed north of Mountains Crossings. In fact, I only seen like 1 or 2, and actually wound up getting off the trail for just a second because I didn't have my head up. Too busy looking at the rocks in the trail. So once that trail petered out, I figured out I made a mistake and got back to the more well-worn trail. In any case, right off the bat, I noticed that my Achilles tendon is a little bit of a tinge in it. I don't do any stretching off the bat before I leave. I've always heard that you don't stretch a cold muscle or cold tendon. So probably a good indication I had a little too much throttle going into the climb for just getting started. So I throttled back, go a little slower, and pretty much started feeling better right away. So we'll see. But in any case, trail's very well worn here. Obviously, after 3,000 through hikers, but you also have, over the years, through hikers, and probably get a lot of section hikers through here. So it's grown up a little bit. If you go back and look at my video from Springer Mountain to Neel Gap, you'll see a difference in the vegetation and what kind of view you have out to the hills and valleys. You don't. All right, Charlie Mike. All right, so as I hike along, things have malfunctions or whatever that tell me I've got a piece of gear missing. And I don't know that it's a piece of gear, but anyway, you see my glasses are fogging up, and last time that same thing happened, I swore I'd get some of that cat crap, which is, that's the brand name, cat crap, that you put on your glasses and it keeps them from fogging. Mainly use it when I'm snow skiing, but I bet it'd work even in hot weather as well. I mean, fogging is the same thermodynamic principle no matter what. Something's cool surface with muggy air hitting it, condensating out, producing moisture, just like your tea glass sweating. Okay, so note to self, remember cat crap. All right, chat with you later. Okay, this is the first campsite on the AT northbound of mountain crossings. So you got a couple places to put tents there, plenty places to hammock. It's a spot up there, fire pit spots over there. So this is a place to put a lot of tents. Also, this is your first watering point. It's somewhere straight through those woods somewhere. Hadn't seen the blue blaze yet. This area, like I said, is not too well blazed. However, it's 0.2 of a mile off the trail downhill. I don't need water. Nobody should. A mile, 1.1 miles from mountain crossing. So if you do and you have to walk 0.2 of a mile downhill, that's your fault. All right, here we go. Okay, I am at Wolf Laurel Top. I put the mileage down here in the corner. Couple things I've noticed right off the bat: the flies, these small little flies, are terrible when you stop. The trail's pretty overgrown. A lot of areas. There's notice some poison ivy that can jump up, grab you, and stay with you the rest of the trail. But when you stop, the flies are pretty bad. I don't know if it's the same thing that you see up north, but pretty bad. One thing also, I'm developing hot spots. I do have some new shoes, and I'll talk further about those in my my gear review on the new shoes. But I am developing hot spots way too soon, so pretty disappointed in that. All right, taking a breather here, and we'll continue on. All right, so I'm taking a break. I forgot to eat breakfast, so all I have is a honey bun on the road, and then I didn't even eat lunch. So I started dragging coming up these hills here, and figured out why, because I ain't got any protein in me. So forgive me if I'm chewing in the middle of the film. By the way, it is turkey jerky, and that's one of my favorites. Good view, you can see out behind me here at Wolf Laurel Top. Wasn't for the flies, it'd be great. All right, keep going.
This section of the trail is a little different than other sections of the trail I've been through. I came across this little bitty gnome town that somebody had placed there. So I don't know what that's all about, but if somebody has a comment on why people place little gnome towns along the trail, I would greatly appreciate a comment, because I have no idea why somebody would carry this stuff up there and set it out. I also came across a couple memorials at some overlooks that were pretty interesting. I've never seen memorials like that placed upon the trail. And at this particular spot, there was 2 memorials. This one here with the t-shirt, it was sat on a cross, and it was stuffed so that, you know, it had some dimension to it. Was to a Taylor Ryan Hoffman, who apparently was a hiker. It didn't say he died on the trail, just said that he was a hiker. He was a father, single father, had a son, and apparently he had a bout with some illness or something. And anyway, the other one was to this In Love. I couldn't really find any information or an obituary specifically for In Love, but it's rather interesting to see these memorials there. Both of these memorials are placed at Wolf Laurel Top, which is about 3.8 miles in from Neel's Gap on the trail. So it's a very pretty place to have a memorial. Just have never seen one. It's kind of unusual. I'm sure as I continue section hiking, I'll see more of them.
Well, while I'm sitting here taking my time, I'm down here at Hogpen Gap, and there's a water source here, and I'm making water. So I'm just using a Sawyer squeeze in a gravity mode, and I've just got a dirty water bag, got it out of that dip in the where they've cut out the V in that log. Dirty water bag, a quick disconnect to the Sawyer squeeze, and gravity drain down into my smart water bottle, and it is already full, just like that.
One thing about this section of the trail that I've found is that the water sources don't have a lot of pools to them, so you really need to bring something you can dip out of occasionally when you run across those that don't have a pool.
All right, we're coming. It's like 7 o'clock. We started somewhere around 1ish. A long day, pushing close to, I think, 14, at least 12. Stupid to go that far right off the couch. And I had intentions of going only about 7, but when I got to Whitley Gap Shelter, I realized it was 1.2 miles downhill off of the trail. So in the morning, I'd have to hike 1.2 miles uphill, and it was sharp, heavy descent. I didn't care about that. So I figured I'd find me a stealth site, and I've passed plenty, but me being the knothead competitive person I am, and looking where the sun is in the sky and thinking, I got plenty of daylight left, I can keep going a little further. And then, before you know it, I'm only 2 miles from the next shelter, which there was a signpost down at the last gap. Can't remember the name of it. Bacon Gap or something, but anyhow, it said 4.4 miles to the shelter. Well, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, here I am, about 0.6 of a mile out from the shelter that I said I wasn't going to, and it's all downhill. But it's like, you know, you get so far into it, and you've got a lot invested in it, and hey, it's only 2 more miles. 2 more miles, 2 miles an hour is what my pace, 2.5 miles an hour. So, yeah, that seems just another hour. Of course, you don't think about all the climbs you got, and the fact that your feet are hurting, your knees are hurting, you're galded. Galded's a southern thing, y'all. If you don't never heard the term galded, I don't even know if you can Google it. Just ask the southern gentleman. He'll tell you what galded means. But I dang sure ain't gonna explain it. Has something to do with chafing. In any case, how to be here at, I think it's called Low Gap Shelter. Like I said, dumb to push that far. Tomorrow, I got a lot more time on the trail. That would have been the time to push a 14-mile day. I mean, come on. 14-mile day up right off the couch. Dumb. Anyway, I'll be there in a little bit. I'll check in when I get to the shelter.
I did not take any video or pictures when I got to the shelter. There was a family of 4 that I was staying with in the shelter that had gotten there before me, and then there was also some campers that were camping around, and I don't like violating people's privacy like that, and I was really too tired to ask. So just chatted a little bit, cooked a little bit of supper, and that was the end of the day for me. Turned out being only 11.8 miles rather than the 14 I'd previously said, but that was coming right off the couch and starting at 1 o'clock and ending about 7. So needless to say, that was probably too much the first day, but we'll, next day turned out a lot better, and hopefully you'll tune in to the next episode coming up, and you'll see how my next day went on this section of the AT from Neel's Gap to Dix Creek Gap. Leave a comment in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from you. Love to dialogue with you. Give me a thumbs up if you got anything out of this. Hit that big old red subscribe button at the end of this video. And as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.